I'm super vulnerable in general. I'm so honest. Like, I think time and place is a better thing I'm going to do, but I'm vulnerable just as a person. It's just embedded in me. Like, I just can't do the fake. Like, I just can't withhold my emotions. I can think and take time to process them before I release them, or be fair on what you're going through. Maybe this isn't the time for me to bring it up, but it's just who I am. Like, I couldn't even give an idea of how it would be if I wasn't.
Yes, sir, ski. This the Hood Analyst Podcast, where we talk about that real hood shh. Now today, I have two very special guests, but first, I'm gonna have my co-host Just say what he always says, because he really pays attention to this stuff. He's really meticulous. Me, I'm a little bit more, hippie-ish and all of that, but I'm learning a lot from him about business. But he's gonna say,
like, subscribe, and share. Because we drop podcasts every single Friday, 8 p.m. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. You're part of the 85%. And stop being part of the majority and be part of the minority.
Yeah, stop being like me. I even do it. All of the people that I watch that I'm not subscribed to and I never comment on, I was like, damn, I got a channel now. So I just started commenting on all of the people that I've been watching for years. And I subscribed. Actually, press the button.
Yes, we drop content every single day for you guys. So please just subscribe. There's a lot of things that you may learn from what we're saying, probably.
Yes, I'm going to have my guests introduce themselves. But look, I promise y'all, there's a lot of other shows that I'll be watching too. And I know when I can pull from good shows. I'm going to start working on my intros. And I was caught off guard today, but I should have a phenomenal intro for this man. Introduce yourself.
My name's Guy. I'm an artist, singer-songwriter from Teaneck, New Jersey. And I'm happy to be here today.
Soski.
Facts. My name is Kyoko. Most people call me Key. Some ladies call me Coco. And yeah, I'm whatever you need me to be for that day, but I'm also Guy's manager.
Gang.
Yes. So Teaneck is in the building, and I was definitely in the building yesterday. We're going to get to know who this man is, but me being a fellow artist as myself, I can respect when somebody's actually putting in work. So I be on the ground. I be out here in the scene. And I went to the show yesterday. And when I say it was sold out, I was like, yo, I had to talk to my cousin. It was like, yo, you doing your thing. I was an artist for a long time, and I understand that feeling. People bought the tickets. Y'all remember them days when y'all have those tickets and you got to sell 15 to be able to perform? No, he ain't doing that shit. He sold his own out. How the fuck does that feel?
It feels amazing, honestly. It hasn't even really set in yet, because there was so much going on into the buildup of it, and then so much going on in the day of. It was just a dopamine for 48 hours straight. So it still hasn't hit me. I'm just trying to really ground myself and being appreciative, gratitude. You know what I'm saying? But it was incredible.
So yeah, I can't that must be amazing. Ladies, I know y'all watching this. It was a lot of ladies in the building the other day. So y'all get to really get to know this man. Yeah, the finest ones. Y'all get to really know this man.
And fellas, if you need a girl, come to the Guy Show. You know what I'm saying?
You dig.
Word.
Yeah, that's fire. I like that.
Yeah, word. It. Damn.
That's fire.
That was a bar.
That was a bar.
Yeah, say that again. If
you need a girl, come to the Guy Show. You know what I'm saying?
You dig. Talk to him. Okay, all right. Okay. Now we have all, hopefully, felt the greatest feeling in the world. Being in love. And I feel like on the internet, there's a lot of people talk about the negative. Negative news, it's human nature. Even me. When I hear somebody's downfall, I don't get happy about it, but I want to hear the tea. I don't gossip, but I want to hear that shit. I don't know what it is. It's just human beings. But I say all of that to say, don't say no name, but describe. You don't have to pick one. Hopefully you have multiple. Describe a woman that you have been in love with in the past. Just describe her so we can put some energy out there of talking about
independent, communicative, just sticking it out, I think love. I don't know, because it's like love is such a tricky thing to understand because it's like intangible but tangible at the same time. So I feel like, of course, like the pull, the gravitation. I think the gravitational pull is the factor in like describing a woman, like describing. I think just like an understanding. And I think the biggest thing for me is like to describe this individual would be like leaving room for growth, you know?
Okay. All right. Kyoko, you want to talk about somebody that you love? You can pick anyone.
I'll talk about love. It's funny because when it first happens to you, you don't know always in the moment. Sometimes you know as the moments pass by. And that's kind of what happened to me. I ain't really know I was in love until it was gone. And,
talk to him.
Hey, I got it back.
Oh, got it back. Yeah, get right.
Make sure you added that in.
Get right.
But, for me, it's I'm a super different person. And a lot of people know that if you know me. I'm just into a whole bunch of shit. I'm into the coolest shit that everyone loves, but I'm also into the real nerdy shit, like programming and shit like that. I'm an electromechanical engineer.
Talk to him. Talk to him.
So for me, it's just like a shorty that kind of is weird like that in her own way, and really creative. Just has an influx of ideas all the time and shit like that. Like just
shit, creative.
Really,
creative is a word I should have used. That's a big factor.
Absolutely.
Like really ambitious and shit, and just stuff like that, man. Like just things you wouldn't see every day because there's a lot of beautiful women on this planet.
Talk to him.
Too many to count for real.
Talk to him.
And it's like just different when you meet a girl that has a woman, I'll say that has a mind of her own and like just really knows what she wants. So
talk to him. Okay.
Facts.
Just you wanna
I'll say the same thing probably like what I said, but more so not the independence, the fact that she's self-sufficient because
Facts.
That's a better way to phrase it.
Because independence means that you don't need anything.
Facts.
Self-sufficient means that you're able to stand on your own, but also understand that you also need help as well too. And that's where I come in.
Facts. I
We
definitely
both need each other.
definitely need a girl that not needs me but wants me.
Yes.
Yeah, someone that can also like, if you know how to figure your own shit out and they know how to figure their own shit out and you guys come together on some shit, like
Now we can build an empire.
Empire.
yeah,
Empire.
definitely.
I'll answer the question too. When I think of the women that I fell in love with, all right. You guys have fallen out of love before?
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right.
Absolutely.
When I love someone, I love that person. But it was younger. I was younger at the time. But like, I'll love who they are. Like, they do things in a weird way. They're their individual person. But I have fallen out of love with somebody because they'll let the world change them. They'll let the world get into their head. Like a lot of the girls that I used to really
Especially social media, man.
yeah, like
Dunya.
yes. I just like somebody who likes what the they like and don't give a fuck what nobody think. It starts like that, but they start thinking that you want other shit. Like, I don't know. It gets weird.
You know, it's a crazy concept.
There's so many influences out there.
Yeah, I think a crazy concept would you kind of like, I feel like glossed over is like when he said not knowing you in love, I think there were times where it was like, you know, being younger and being in a relationship, you're kind of like, I'm supposed to be in love because that's what a relationship is. But I think I realized like I got a lot of love for this person, but I'm not in love with them.
Talk to them.
And I think that's something that's kind of like you don't really know until enough time has passed to be able to kind of like take yourself outside of the situation and really understand like how you feel. Like, is there really a gravitational pull you have for this person? Or are you just so used to them being part of your life that you care about them? Like, it's like, you know, your homie, you care about your homie. You love your dog. Like that's like, but you're not in love with your dog. You know, you
see, and it's, that's how I like to love. I love like that. Like how you just said, it's weird, but once I love you, it doesn't matter if I'm still in love with you.
Yeah,
I just want you to be
right.
like
I'm always gonna make sure you good.
Exactly.
Always want the best.
Exactly. It's kind of like a lot of people, I don't know, I'm just from the grasp of what's on the internet and in person. People feel like, I think people expect that in love part to last forever. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
How y'all feel about that? Do you think
it doesn't need to? I mean, and I'm blessed to I've never really been in toxic situations or anything like that.
Me neither.
So I'm blessed to like pretty much every woman I've been involved with. We still have a great relationship, and that's not like we talk every day or anything like.
It didn't end badly though.
But it didn't end badly. And there's still love there, and I think that's where it gets tricky. With male and female relationships, even when it's platonic, is because like it's like, damn, like I have so much love for you. Like, am I in love with you? Like, nah, I'm not. Like, I just really have a lot of love for you.
Yeah.
So you've been, how long have you been an artist? Like, you always have made music.
I feel like I think I've always been an artist since birth, but it's like being aware that I'm an artist is like different. Like, I think I've had that in me. Like, my mom told me when I was 3, she was a professional dancer growing up in the ballet, like New York Ballet. And she said she would play music and I would respond to it like crazy. Like, she'll play certain like songs as an infant and I'll cry, you know? So I think like it's always been in me. There was a time and place where like I moved around a lot and I was really just trying to fit in. So I wasn't really doing the music thing or wasn't really I just never, because I was trying to like play basketball to fit in because that's what was popular. And I went to 4 different high schools. So, you know, I was just trying to find my way, and I didn't really like start getting into actually creating music till I was like 20, 21. And, you know, like my mom for years though, she always told me like, you should stop doing sports and do music. Like, you really should do music.
So she already knew.
She knew, yeah. And like being creative, just like it ran. She was a creative, you know, she was a dancer. Like the arts just kind of ran in our blood, I think. And I think it was just, you know, you're young, you're kind of just trying to like, especially if you're going through some shit where you're always the new kid, you're just trying to figure out your place, you know, like, you know, so I didn't really have a set place to start making music, you know?
So, Guy, I kind of want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're an artist and, you know, most people that are really into their music or really their story shows within their music, how do you put it all out there, be vulnerable, or even show your emotions inside of your music? How does it feel when you're making tracks?
Shit, like I think that's a deep ass question. I think like a lot of the times the music itself, like the production, pulls it out of you.
Yes.
And there are times though where I'm writing without music because it's like just being present and feeling your feelings all the way through, whether they end up on record or not. I think the harder thing, the more difficult thing is that I will be, especially lately, I wasn't always vulnerable in my music. Part of it was learning how to make a song, learning what I like. But, you know, now like I am vulnerable in my music and wanting to get more and more and more vulnerable because I do have a very unique upbringing and story to tell as I learn to unfold it. But the hardest part is when I write about somebody and them, if I play the song for them or if I like, how do I put this out if I know they're going to hear it? That's the challenge.
I have an interesting question. So many artists are different. Have you ever dated a woman that wasn't a fan? Like, not clearly, but like she probably just isn't into the kind of music that you make. Like, does she have to be?
Nah, God willing, no. You know what I'm saying? Because I got it like that. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I've actually a lot of the times, they may not have, like some situations, they may not have been into that kind of music, but my music made them into it because of my approach on it.
That's a fact.
You know,
That's
and them knowing me as a person and then hearing like, wow, who I am as a person is who I am on the song, you know, like, and that gives them, I've definitely like, I have not dated a woman who wasn't into it in general, like just didn't think my music was good. I have not experienced that. And if I, I can experience that, but I'll just like, you know, not show them my music. Like, you know, not everybody is going to like what you do and you got to be able to know that. Like you got to be able to deal with it. Like otherwise, what are you doing here?
So
like,
speaking about being vulnerable and having your emotions within your music, and this is going to be a question for everybody. How do you feel about being vulnerable with your partner?
I'm super vulnerable in general. I'm so honest. Like, I think time and place is a better like thing I'm going to do, but I'm vulnerable just as a it's just embedded in me. Like, I just can't do the fake. Like, I just can't withhold my emotions. I can think and take time to process them before I release them, or, be fair on what you're going through. Maybe this isn't the time for me to bring it up, but shit, man, I couldn't even, it's just who I am. Like, I couldn't even give an idea of how it would be if I wasn't.
Yeah. What about you, Kyoko?
For me, I'm pretty vulnerable as well too, but I'm also like, I'm kind of like self-consoling. Like, I'm very logical, like very well thought out. But like, I'm not gonna tell you some shit you can't handle, unfortunately. And sometimes I definitely like pay for that because I hold certain stuff in. And I'll definitely be vulnerable with someone else. But yeah, I guess I say I struggle with it sometimes. Because I am vulnerable in general, but like I will definitely hold back on some shit that like I know you can't handle. Like,
yeah. What about you, Key?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm a vulnerable person.
I'll let you think. I'll answer.
Yeah.
All right, so I'd say that I'm not a vulnerable person. Like, I don't show my vulnerabilities, but I do show it to the people that I think can also handle it and the people that deserve it,
Exactly.
But then the only thing is too, like, I'm more of a business-minded person, more logical, like you said. I'm not going to give away vulnerabilities that I know that can be thrown against me to hurt me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've definitely fallen victim to that shit for sure. But I don't know. I just look at it like take like our friendship. We've definitely gotten into, especially because we do business together. And a lot of people are like, don't go into business with your friends or your family. And people tell us that shit all the time. And we, through the good or the bad, like, he knows because of my vulnerability where I'm at all the time. Luckily, I'm somebody who can take accountability when they're wrong. Maybe not in the moment. Maybe I have to like process how some shit went, but
at least he knows.
He knows exactly where I'm at all the time. If I was, and maybe that's the yin and yang and why like our business relationship works, is because maybe he's more withholding sometimes. I mean, I know he's pretty like honest with me all the time. He's really honest, but the times where he's withholding, I'm not withholding for the most part. So like, he will always know, for better for worse, where I'm at. Like, if I'm saying some shit that's not how I should be acting in that moment, he knows that it's not coming from like a buildup of so much different shit because I withheld information from him. He knows that I'm probably just like going through something, or something's going on with me in that moment, which allows us to work better. And the times that where maybe he's withholding and I have to pry to get information out of him, I get a better understanding of how he thinks and how he is. So I think like to transfer that like with a partner and a woman, I think like she will, maybe she's not great at communication, but like she'll always know, like at least I know that I will not be at fault because you are always going to know where I'm at, whether I'm right or wrong. And taking accountability when I'm wrong allows me to like just be vulnerable. I don't have like the energy to like withhold shit in general. Like, it's just so consuming, like to bottle things up. And I just don't have the energy for it. Like,
and I understand it. I understand it a lot. But the thing is also that a lot of people do use those vulnerabilities against you. But the thing is if you can find that person that is loyal to you, that wants your best at heart, regardless whatever happens, you could be an open book with that person. It's just hard to find it.
It's definitely hard to find it.
I got my answer now. So I've always had a vulnerable personality. Like, I'm also an artist myself, like a natural artist. So I feel like artists, they express their feelings often. So I've always known how to do that. I am aware of people throwing it back in your face, but I've also always, not always, but I'm a fan of like the anime and the Japanese, like the Eastern philosophy. So I also just know how to not let things bother me. So I can
that's super important.
Facts. It's
learning to be accountable for yourself. Even though it's a part of your vulnerability, you understand it, and the fact that it's being that's why I say for me, I like to say things that I'm willing for it to be thrown back in my face. Like I know that it could be a possibility because I accepted it already.
Yeah, exactly. once you accept it, yeah,
they have no leverage.
That's all right. Now that's what I was gonna say. Is it really vulnerability if you already accepted it and then you tell somebody else? Because like the kind of being vulnerable is like
being just
I'm telling
that
you,
moment.
I'm telling you something,
See,
but like I'm a calculated personality, so like I'll feel emotions and be like, all right,
I'm
gonna just go through it. Like I'm gonna just.
I think like I want to before I give my thought on that, like what you said, which is like this, just the concept of things being thrown back in my face. Like if I'm not gonna deal with someone with that concern. Like I'm not gonna move with that intention because that's already creating a dynamic between you and that person where it's like, if I know you're gonna throw things in my face, why would I even be with you in general? Like,
exactly. Yeah.
Why would I deal with you? Like, so I only deal with people that I know, like, even if they throw something in my face, like that's not a habit. That's not a pattern. That's just like maybe a miscommunication one day or someone said the wrong thing or was in the wrong mood. But like, I can't be involved in situations where I got to even worry about that kind of stuff. Like,
yes.
So,
and I don't think most people, no, I'm not going to say most people, but what the internet does is make things stay forever. So you'll see somebody in maybe a bad moment posting something, and then you watching it makes you think that that's their personality all the time.
Yeah.
Like we had an experience with a girl where we were talking about a crazy situation, and it had to do with like black men being pulled over, and we gave her an honest reaction. She showed us a video on how she reacted, but like she's the coolest girl ever, like cool as hell. But
she was triggered.
In that video, if I would have saw that video without prior knowing her,
you could assume she's that way all the time.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know that I do that. Yeah. So I know that there's a lot of cliches on the internet, like don't open up, but there's a finish to that sentence. It's just that don't open up is coming from that hurt person in that moment. But the truth is, don't open up to someone who has hurt you before. Yeah. That's the whole sentence.
But the thing is that you never know when that person can hurt you as well, too.
Yeah, but I'm saying as you go through life,
getting hurt. Though.
Exactly.
No, I was gonna finish my sentence with that. I was going to say that you can open up, but just understand that it's a possibility that it can be thrown back in your face, but just know that it is a possibility and prepare yourself for it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Most people know that that's a possibility, but the internet takes the part before that and exaggerates that part.
Yeah, magnifies that one piece.
That's what I'm like. We know, because most people know that.
Because the thing about with vulnerabilities, and this is why I'm going to say this, is the fact that be aware of it and don't let it catch you off guard to where it like puts you out of commission.
Yeah, of course. You know?
People don't take that's the I don't want to say that's the problem with the internet, but like I think like we've bred this whole thing on instant gratification our attention spans, are so short that we don't even have the attention span for ourselves to process things.
Ooh, yes. Well, how was it meeting Gary V?
That shit was cool, man. That shit was really cool. That man is a one-of-one individual that is a machine, man.
And he's from Jersey too, right?
He's from Jersey, man.
Big Jersey.
And it's crazy. I spoke on this before, but when we met with him, like how we're meeting right now, like I'm on a podcast, but we're just having a real conversation. With Gary, it was like the same thing. This man is in 5-minute meetings for 8 hours a day.
Jeez.
5-minute meetings, 5. So we sat down with him, and I didn't know that prior to sitting down with him. And we sat down with him and we started talking, and we went 15 minutes. Now, to an average person, talking to somebody for 15 minutes is not a long time.
It's not.
So like the next day or the next time I went back to the office to do content with them for the song that we put out, everybody was like, God, I met with Gary for 15 minutes, like going up to different employees. Kyoko and I are looking at each other like, that's 15 minutes. That shit is short as Like, what? And they're like, you don't understand. This man is only in meetings for 5 minutes. But in those 5 minutes, he is so present.
Yes.
On whatever you're talking about. It doesn't have to be insightful. Like, if you're not a person who's having that kind of conversation, you're just shooting the shit with him and talking about the Jets, he's going to talk about the fucking Jets.
I could sense it through the screen.
He's super present.
Exactly. I think the world needs more of that. I'm a fan of Gary Vee. Shout out to him. Shout out to Gary that's a crazy experience meeting
Shout out to Mike Boyd. Shout out to Tyler Walsh for lining that up, because I would have never met him before.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. Word. I'm glad that he was what I predicted he would be, really present in the moment. That's the vibe that I get from the videos.
Definitely inspired me.
Nah, yeah. Too present sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. We were actually trying to shoot like the last piece of the video, and I'm just playing the back so they could get the entrance and all of that stuff, because it was real natural reaction. So just guy walking into the office, dapping him up, them chopping it up for a little bit. Bro trying to reach over the camera to see what's up to me. I'm like, bro, just get the clip first.
Yeah, we're filming right now.
Filming, bro. We can talk after. You feel me? I appreciate the love, but get the clip first.
Okay, so it's on the subject of being present. This one, whoever thinks of their answer first can answer it first, but we can all answer this question. What's something that no one never notices about you, but you wish they did? We live in a digital era where everybody is like this. We have conversations like this. But what's something that you feel is special about yourself that nobody ever fucking notices it?
Shit, I know. How much I listen. Like I don't remember anything I say to anybody, but I remember what everybody says to me for the most part.
So that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. Nobody don't really notice that.
And I'm super in tune when we have a conversation. Like, I'm not somebody who's on their phone like this when we're talking. Doesn't matter who it is.
You're a true artist. That's why. I'm the same way. You have to be as an artist.
Yeah.
You have to. That's good. Kyoko?
I think mine is the same thing. And it's a little different for me because I will be on the phone while we're talking, but I'm an incredible multitasker. Like,
he is, for real. I'm not.
I'm not either.
I might not look you in your face. Generally, when we're having a conversation, I'll give you eye contact and all of those things, but I might be doing something on the computer, blah, blah, blah. And people be like,
They'll stop talking.
I'm like, bro, I'll repeat your last 4 sentences.
Wow.
I do that shit all the time with him. Wow. I'll just be like, oh, he's on the phone. I'm stop talking. He's like, bro, keep going. What do you do? Like,
you're a true manager. I was going to say that earlier when you said going into business with your friends. That's another one of those sentences that we don't finish the full sentence. Somebody went into business with their friends and they fucked it up, and then they just screamed to the top of their lungs, don't go into business with your friends. No, don't go into business with people you are not compatible with. That's the real truth.
Even if they're your friends.
You have to, yeah, exactly.
I mean, to be honest with you, you could be compatible with a person. Like I said, you never know within a relationship whether it will go sour or not. The thing is, don't be in a partnership or business acquisition with the person that you're with that doesn't have the same goal as you. Just all what it is.
Yeah. But I mean,
I think, like, not to cut you off, my apologies. I think, like, a lot of the times, like, we all have, like, you have friends, but you have different relationships with different friends. There's so much of yourself that you give away and so much of yourself that you don't.
Absolutely.
The uniqueness of my situation with him in terms of a business relationship is I've actually known him since I was like 3 years old. My mom would leave me at his house because his older sister went to like elementary school with my older sister. So my mom, she had a brother, my sister had a brother. So my mom started bringing me over. And the thing is like, he and I are equally accountable. Like, a lot of the times, because I am an artist, I'm super passionate, I'm emotional, I'm vulnerable. I also am like the one that's in front of the camera majority of the time. So if something looks bad, it's going to look bad on me. That sometimes it gets to me, or sometimes I may not say the right thing, or sometimes I may think something, and even if I say something to him that whether it rubs the wrong way or I could have handled the situation better.
Pardon me.
No, you're fine. It's never something where, like, he will never not give me criticism because he knows that even in that moment, if I don't respond well, I can't take it. And to me, like, the monetary value, it's really just ego, man. Like, are you really yourself with your friends? Like, are you really 100% your friends? When it goes back to the vulnerability shit, because he knows I'm gonna be 100 the whole time, vulnerable or not, and that I'm like maybe wrong sometimes, but he knows that if he talks to me, that in that moment I may not hear it. I'm gonna speak on this. We got into an argument a couple weeks ago over some stupid shit. We got into an argument over some stupid shit. Do this on my show. Do this on my show, yes. Over some stupid shit. But like the whole thing was just miscommunication. But we had an improvement that I really thought, because he said something, and I can't remember exactly. Like he said something, basically, I couldn't go to an event because I had a family situation and I didn't feel like speaking on, it was a personal matter, and I didn't really wasn't in the place to kind of no, I'm wrong. That was a different situation. I had a bunch of work to catch up on, but he knows me. And a lot of the times I don't like to step out because I'd rather be in the crib cooking up, recording, because I'm really obsessed with the music stuff. And I feel like anytime I'm not working on it, somebody else is. So a lot of the times I wouldn't show up to stuff because I was concerned about, that. So I just stay in the crib, record. And a big part of being an artist is you got to show your face. You got to show support other places. So we got in this, in this instance, he was like, yo, I think you should come with me to this thing, to this event. And I was like, bro, honestly, I can't do it. And he was like, I feel you, but I really think you should go. And I'm like, bro, I can't do it. Now, I'm not telling him why I can't do it, because in that moment, I just didn't feel like I felt like I don't need to justify myself. Like, me. What I didn't take into account is that although I may be a different person now than I am a year ago, he's unaware of this because of all the past times I did. So when he texted me something, and before, instead of getting on the phone and be like, bro, I can't go, I'm trying to tell you, I was like, yo, I'm gonna just take the preemptive talk to be like, I think I'm misperceiving what you're saying. And I instead of me taking a slight at it or getting offended, is this what you're meaning when you say this? Is this what you mean? Or am I misinterpreting it? And he was like, bro, that is not at all what I meant. I totally understand, if you got to do that, but you just got to communicate that to me, because you often will stay in the crib and record. And as your manager, I need you to be at stuff, but that is important and you need to handle that. That's more important than this. And we didn't get into an argument like we would 3 years ago over some, and that's a big step in just take the ego out, take yourself out of the situation, out of the constant rabbit hole we get into with people, and be like, damn, am I tripping right now? Okay. Him being vulnerable instead of just responding, him being like, damn, I'm sorry if I miscommunicated it that way and you interpreted it that way. And we didn't, and that's a big step in why our business relationship works, is because we keep it 100 with each other. Even when we do argue, even when things don't go well, when things do go well, it's a real brotherhood that we have with each other, and no dollar amount is going to change that.
I would say this, the one thing that I pulled from this entire podcast, I know we still got a lot of time left, I'm going to say this, just take the time to clarify. That's what we fail to do. And it takes a couple of seconds, but our ego and our pride allows us not to do that.
Yeah, something with human beings where it's primal, where when we feel like we're wrong, it's almost like a little death. I read it in a book before, but we fight that feeling of being wrong so much, and we all do it.
It's like defeat.
Yeah, exactly. but
you got
the more self-aware you get, and you realize that don't hurt at all. I'd be wrong all the time. There was an episode I was wrong on camera in real time.
You know what the great thing about being wrong though is?
You learn, right?
You learn something, so
every time.
You got every time.
That's what I said. Like I said, life is a war, right? But you gotta sometimes lose a lot of battles to win the war.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a lifelong war.
Yeah.
You can't win every battle.
And we are the generation of the internet. So that's why we don't take the time to clarify, is because we're so used to instant gratification, instant reaction, instant whatever it is. And
I would say the next thing too about the clarification, learn to clarify and then also seek the context.
Yes.
Facts.
People don't seek this context, especially that you're talking about. We live in the internet age. They don't look at the background. There's always a preconception before what actually happened.
Yeah.
Just the clip. That's all they look for.
Yep.
And life is not a clip. Life is a movie.
Yeah, word.
That's a bar.
Yeah, life is
I'm
a
writing.
movie.
Hold on. I'm writing that shit down. Hold on.
Go ahead.
I'm
I
writing
wanna
that
hear,
shit down.
I want to hear your answer to the question. What's something that you wish someone noticed about you, but they never do?
So most people online think that I'm an asshole, I'm too blunt, I'm too direct, whatever have you. But I'm actually one of the most caring people in the world. But I just care through tough love. Because that's kind of how I was brought up. And I understand that some people can't handle it sometimes. But the thing is that I live in the reality. And sometimes I see things in black and white, but I just want the best for what you are as a person. And if I actually speak to you to care, and it might come out harsh, just know it comes from a caring place. And if I don't say anything, I don't really care too much.
That's me as well. That is most definitely me as well. I'm not gonna tiptoe around your feelings. None of that shit. I'm gonna say what needs to be said, and then we can unpack that.
Yeah.
So wrong.
Because sometimes you need a little bit of hurt to understand.
Bro, he does that shit to me all the time and be like, I don't need to hear that shit right now. He's like,
I don't care.
I don't care.
See, we're artists, and
we sensitive, man.
They're
We
business and
sensitive,
managerial. That's why your relationships work, and that's why ours work. I read a lot about this stuff with people and personalities and stuff, because like I can yield to him. I can just, as long as I get creative control over, talking and stuff. Like the worst day ever would be if we get a sponsor and they're like, you can't talk about this, like that it's the same thing, like with art. Like,
yeah, I don't care about being right. I just care about getting to the destination.
Talk to them.
I could be wrong on every turn as long as we get where we want to go. That's all that matters.
I'm
and
trying
the
to
next thing too,
could I answer the question?
Relationships and stuff like that, especially with your business partners, friendships, family, is accountability specifically.
Yeah.
Learning when to check each other.
Yeah.
And learning when to know that you can be wrong.
Yeah. And I think kind of what he was speaking on a little bit, I think I'm definitely faulted in that way too. Or like I have experiences where like he said, I'm not here to brag or anything, but I am right a lot. And I run into the experience that people always are trying to prove me wrong rather than actually like
listen to what you're saying.
Listen to what I'm saying. They're like trying to prove me wrong because it's like, no, I got you this time. And it's like, nah, bro. Like I don't care if you do get me this time. It's cool. It's cool. I always want to learn.
Yes.
But like, are we actually building on this conversation to find out what's correct?
Yeah.
Or are you just trying to prove me wrong right now?
Because
that's a great way to break it down.
Because honestly, like being right is cool and all, but the thing is that I just want to get to the right destination.
Yeah.
So I'm only saying things because I have evidence to prove it.
Exactly.
And what it is. And if you bring me better evidence, of course, I'm wrong. Let's go.
Yeah, man. I love that. That I like, man, anytime he brings better evidence, I'm always like, you got me. You're right. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So your show was like definitely sold out. It was, the shorties was in there, and you
come to a guy show
like
to
my
get a
person. Say that again.
Come to the guy show if you need a girl.
Yes, and also if you need some good music. Did you pick the people who went before you?
Yeah, I did. I picked them based off of trenches.
They're doing their job.
Yeah, shout out to them. But basically the concept of the show is like, I'm really trying to, a big thing is like, I'm really trying to be somebody that Jersey can rally behind, as an artist. I don't really feel like we have that. And all the artists I admire are hometown heroes. So I'm really trying to be a hometown hero. And I'm trying to be a bridge to resources when I, as I continue to climb, the more I grow and the bigger I get as an artist, being able to bring those resources back to my community. And I picked those artists because I felt like there are a lot of vital artists to our community. But those guys specifically, I felt like some of them have been doing it for a really long time and haven't gotten their just dues.
That first duo, they're from Teaneck.
They're from Teaneck, A.O. Tone and Dre Breezy.
Yeah,
everybody involved
from
in
Teaneck.
The show was from Teaneck. So people that was trying to get on the bill, that was from outside communities. We apologize. Even some people from Teaneck, we apologize. It was no Hollywood shit.
It was not based on like who makes the best music. It was just about
none of that. And we didn't want to have a showcase where it's 10 people performing because we understand attention span and you feel me?
And
like,
time.
No one wants to listen to 10 people perform in a row. We wanted to run it like a real concert. You go see Drake, he got 2 to 3 openers max.
And a DJ maybe is one of the openers.
DJ.
Your personality is why you're explaining
curating
yourself.
the
But
vibe.
you put in the work. You chose the artist that you with, and I with them too. I was like, damn, these niggas could spit. They really did their thing. The first two duos.
Shout out Ayo Tone and Dre Breezy, man.
And then the second artist, Court Blanco, I've been seeing his name forever. I remember when he used to, don't get me wrong here, because I am a fan of music as well, but I think he used to mess with Stacey Money.
For sure.
Yo, I used to love Stacey Money's music.
Man. Yeah,
Shout out to Stacey. I'm sorry I hit you late.
Yeah, he called me right before the show.
Yeah, his music was good. I've been to a couple of his shows too. His music is good, and I think Court Blanco used to make beats for him, and that's how I found Court Blanco. And when he performed, I was vibing out. Tell me a little bit more about him.
So wait 1 second. Now to talk about your event a little bit, and I kind of want to get a little bit deeper about that specifically.
Sure.
You talk about you want to put Jersey on and all that other stuff. How do you feel about Jersey artists specifically, and how do you think that we can change the mold on us being able to work together to put Jersey on? Because it's like Atlanta has their people, New York has their people, but Jersey's never like, it's always one person. It's never like a group.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I don't know if the problem with Jersey artists or why I feel like Jersey artists aren't more prevalent. Shout out to Coil Ray, shout out to Fetty Wap. Is I think like a lot of people are just afraid of looking dumb in front of other people.
Too cool for school.
Too cool. Like it's just like a giant popularity contest. And I think like when I was getting into it and I was trying to do stuff and people weren't really hitting me back, or people were kind of like, giving me the cold shoulder. Now they see me doing what I'm doing, and it's not like an envious stuff. It's kind of like, damn, like maybe I should have just like not cared so much about what X, Y, and Z thought, or what my friends thought, or what my mom thought. I think that's the problem, is that it's just people think they're too cool to like get in front of a camera and promote themselves, or I care a lot about the quality of my stuff. So I have no problem doing it. I just want to make sure it's quality.
And then how do we change that?
I think there's just one way to change it. Like, just do it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah. Talk about it right now.
Just having open conversations too. Cause like one thing we run into is like, a lot of people think we have like all this crazy shit going on. And it's literally just me, him, and my brother.
Yeah, people think we're signed.
That's how it is when you coming up.
Shit like that. It's like, nah, bro. We're figuring this shit out just like you, but like, we take a little bit more time to study everything. You feel me?
You know
like,
what?
No, we don't take a little bit more time. We take a lot.
All of your time.
We take
every second of the day. You know what it is? You guys finish it. That's all it is. Once you start finishing things consistently, people want to be around you.
Dude.
Because that's all. That's
too.
the only difference.
We fail all the time, bro.
Yep.
We fail all the time. And the thing is like 90% of my phone calls with Key, we're not talking about anything other than what we're trying to do. Like, and that's the thing is like, I think there's people who are talented, but the thing that separates me from a lot of people, and of course, like, I think I'll be a 101 in that type of scenario, but it's like, I have an engine on me like no other. Like nobody's gonna outwork me. Like, I'm obsessed with this. Like, people don't understand. Like, I'm obsessed with this to every degree. While the other artists who are opening, I'm listening to their stuff. I'm trying to help them improve their sound. I'm obsessed. I'm taking notes on my own. I'm not jumping off. First thing I do when I jump off stage in a lot of other situations is I'm like, the first thing on my mind is, what could I have done better? Like, I'm obsessed, and I'm going to take those risks. Like, the thing, even just to give a little insight on my music upbringing, is like, I wasn't living at home and had a laptop and, like was just able to kind of stay in my crib my mom left. She moved. I had to find out where I was going to live. I didn't own a laptop. I jumped on a plane. I've slept in my car. Like, I've literally chased this thing, and I'm chasing it, and I've never moved with like, I'm better than anybody, but I'm really love it. Like, and I love it even when the shit sucks. Sometimes the shit sucks, man. Sometimes the shit is hard, bro.
badly.
So there was one thing that you were saying before, like, what is one thing that you find obsessive, like, you obsessed about a person? And I feel like obsession should be only used in one specific aspect and nothing else.
Like
yourself,
passion?
But yourself.
Yeah.
Be obsessed in your what you want to do and the things that make you better. Be obsessed about trying to get better. Because all you got is you at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I want to see people win, man. Like,
Yeah,
like
speaking of that, also, because I don't want to slight him, you gave a little synopsis on Tone and what's the other artist?
Dre Breezy?
Dre Breezy. We were about to go with Core Blanco too. Why did you choose him?
I just think Core has been like somebody who's kind of cultivated a lot of music careers here. Like, for example, producing a lot of Stacey Money music. He's produced ATM's music. He's produced a lot of people's music in our community, made music himself. And I think like, I was really pushing him to get on the stage and do it, like not that there's a time limit on it, but you got to get the reps in. And I'm not even a vet at this, you know what I mean? Like I can't even count, like I haven't had enough shows on two hands. I haven't even done 10 performances. Like I'm still growing and learning myself. And I think like he's somebody that's super talented. And I want to see him like focus on himself too. Of course, like produce and do whatever your creative passion is, but like I think he's got something with his music too.
Yeah, it was good. I was vibing.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are like I just feel like the city showing him love lets him know like, yo, keep doing it.
I got another question, and this is for you as an artist.
Yeah.
So performing, and I won't say your first show, the fact that you've done multiple shows, I mean, you could talk to the people, and especially upcoming artists out there that have never done a show before.
Yeah.
What would be like your top 3, top 4 things you think of as an artist to have a good show, to perform a good show?
Yeah. Stage presence is number one.
Talk to him.
Facts.
Stage presence is number one. It's cool if your song is vibey, but if you're just getting on the stage and you're not projecting, you're not, really showing, even if you need auto-tune to sing and you're missing notes, the energy you create on the stage with people, engaging with them, like will completely shift their perspective on like how you sound, I think the second thing is rehearsing.
Talk to him.
Rehearsing, knowing your stuff, having an idea, because like a show like Broadway, there's theatrics to it. So it's like, you want to know your shit front to back. You want to know where you're taking a breath. You want to know your lyrics. If you fuck up a lyric, you want to know how to disguise it so that people aren't aware that you fucked up a lyric. You want to know where songs are transitioning, timing, things. Rehearsal is number 2. I'd say number 3 would be something that he told me is, I think like any artist is self-critical. Get lost in it. Have fun. Having fun is number 3.
Okay.
And the last one would be is like, be open to improvement.
Yeah.
Talk to him. Yep.
I mean, I would say just to go along with stage presence, it's a little bit of a part of it, but definitely crowd engagement. Like, and that goes into like,
The people came to see you.
People came to see you. You know what I'm saying? So you're not performing to here. You're not performing to the side. You're performing to the people in front of you.
The people
you got
that
a
came
love
in
song.
and take shit.
You need to be making love to one of the women in the crowd.
That's
I'm
a
not-
fact.
Like,
Yeah,
that's just
that's
what
a
you need to be
fact.
doing. You feel me? Let them fall in love that night.
Especially
That's
that,
what they gonna remember.
Especially that I see like on social media that a lot of people are listening to these streaming wise, or they're seeing you on Instagram and all this other stuff. If they actually come and pay a ticket to come see you,
Yep.
you got to give them an experience that's outside of the phone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the best compliment.
Entertain them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best
Why did I come see
compliment
you?
is that like people were like, I mean, it was kind of like a dual compliment, but they were like, yo, the music was fire and I had a great time.
Yeah, great time.
That's those two
fact.
together. Like people will say like, oh, yeah, the beats are cool, or like, yeah, it was a vibe, but like you didn't like the music, like maybe the energy. But to hear like, yo, because I performed a lot of unreleased music.
You did, yep.
Yeah, especially that last song went crazy. But
you went great the whole set.
yeah, but so for
I
people to
enjoyed
tell
it.
me, I appreciate it. People to tell me that they loved the music and they had a great time lets me know like I'm doing my job.
Okay. And I will also say one thing we both definitely do is, again, study. Like,
Student of the game.
we go to performances
Yeah.
of like larger acts, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, nah, he didn't. I could see how the crowd is reacting. Like, yeah, they know the words to the song, but he's not really performing it.
Right.
Or
what did you think of the arrangement of the set list?
Exactly. Like, go to another artist. It's like, nah, he's really like he got control of this whole crowd.
Yeah.
The whole crowd.
Yeah.
So like, just taking notes on that, like this is really a studying thing. It didn't just come out of thin air.
There's natural talent for sure, but like, you know, like relating it to sports, like you could be a kid and have a strong arm and be able to throw, but that doesn't make you a quarterback until you do all the other things.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
And then when you really do that work, that's when it's easier to get lost in it and things of that nature. Like just for the quarterback example, like, right? There's a lot of standard quarterbacks that know how to throw the ball. They'll get the pass there and things of that nature. Bro, Patrick Mahomes, he put in the work. My boy is throwing no-look passes.
It's muscle
behind
memory.
the back passes.
Yeah.
Muscle memory.
And that's because he really knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, he's not just out there acting a fool. Like, he knows they not expecting this behind the back. So when I throw that, they can't do nothing about it.
It's obsession.
And he
can't do
practiced that
nothing about
move.
it.
He
Yeah.
practiced that move thousands of times to know that
Exactly.
when he does it,
Yep.
he can get it off. And that way, you know, like studying it. And I think a big thing is also like I could do all the work, but there is more work that's always going to be done. I did the rehearsals. I knew where I was taking the breaths. I come off stage even after I know it was a great performance. And the thing that I didn't account for because I am not a vet at it yet is adrenaline. Like I didn't know, like I practiced my breath control, but the second you see all those people and they're excited and you get excited, it boosts your energy to a different degree. And that's like, okay, now I know the next time I jump in front of a stage, that feeling is going to come to me and how can I subjugate it? You know, like.
Yeah. So I want to ask you another deeper question.
Sure.
And the fact that you're an artist, you're an upcoming artist, you're up there, you're actually bigger than most dream to be at this point, and you're still not there yet.
Yeah.
And this is my honest opinion. I think you're gonna make it to the top. Now my question is, rising the ranks, going up and having an image for the people, right? How do you not lose yourself? How do you work on that?
Lucky for me, my image is me. I don't got to jump in front of a camera and remind myself to be a certain way or portray a character. My image is who I am. I've definitely seen artists who are different off camera than they are on camera. Like we were talking before, and I'm talking the same way that I was when the camera wasn't rolling. You know, I think not losing myself is remembering, like reminding yourself why you started it. Because of course, like when you get in certain rooms, you know, where you meet bigger people, your appetite grows, you want more. You know, it's reminding like why you really love it and what's connected you to it. And I think the biggest thing that I think separates people from not losing themselves is like what they're really in it for. Like, of course, being famous would be awesome. And I'm not an artist who's like, I don't want to be famous. Like I would love a platform to be able to shift change and help. But like I do this because I really want to be a master of my craft. And whether I meet Drake or I meet Kanye, I'm not going to come home and be like, I'm at a different tier. Now you do have to know what can sabotage your image.
Facts.
From when you get to
A certain level.
Yeah, JV to then varsity to now you're in college. You can't play like the high school player anymore. You got to change. You got to step up into a new range. So I can't, if I get famous and there's cameras on me everywhere, I can't just go and do like an open mic. It's going to be different. Like it's not going to have the same effect.
Just you bringing that up, I can tell you really care. Like you threw a show for your hometown and you're bringing up like this is your moment and you're still bringing up.
I appreciate it, man.
Like I can tell you care. It's your personality. I kind of want to tell you to talk your shit, but this is
I'm not a talk your shit kind of guy, man. I let the numbers talk my shit.
Get right. Talk to them.
You let your action show.
And like even speaking on that, like how I said, like some people think we have a lot more going on than we do. And like sometimes like I guess people think we're like inaccessible. And it's like, bro, you've had my number for 10 years, bro.
Yeah.
Call me.
Now, if you start doing weird shit,
then
I'm not
I
going
might
to
gotta block you. Shit, you did.
Yeah.
But nah, call my phone, bro. You need help with anything? You need advice or if I can help you in any way, that's just the type of people we are. We're gonna point you into that right direction. You feel me? And if I can't, I'm gonna try to find out. But call my phone, bro. Call
Also,
my phone.
I want to add to that because sometimes I won't do that because
Not if you're gonna make me look bad.
not even that, but because the L's that I had to take that got me into this room,
Talk to him.
I'm keeping you from developing yourself
Facts.
by giving you the answers
Talk
without
to
you
him.
doing the work.
Talk to him.
There's so much stuff that I learn on a day-to-day basis. Like if you want to throw your first headlining show and you want to sell it out, I can't just like hit up every person for you. That's taking the work away from you, taking your ego out of it, hitting people up, the dynamic of relationships of when you do that, what goes into a show. I can't just give you this, the end result, because your end result is going to be different than mine.
Talk to him.
We may end up at the same mountaintop, but like your path to get there is individualistic. So by me, it's not going to be the same. Like, it's not going to be the same. The reason I get these relationships or the reason I get this opportunity is because I'm ready to execute on it. Like if I gave you this opportunity without you putting in the work to execute on it, you're just going to look bad. And I don't want to do that.
Yeah. There's another question that I'm going to ask you too as well. It's a little bit more deep as well.
Mhm.
And it's the fact that you're an artist and we are all men together and we have women relationships.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen a culture and climate of men and women being in battle with each other. How do we bring them together within the music?
Like as men, as female artists and male artists?
No, just men and women together, like through the music of us listening to music together and coming together, because it's a climate where we're both at battle with each other. How do we bring them together with the music?
I just want to elaborate a little bit, or like kind of get a like interpretation of what you're saying. Like, so you mean like, because I notice it too. Like a lot of the females make music seem like they shitting on niggas and vice versa.
Oh, okay. I
That's
get
what
what
I
you're
think,
saying.
yeah.
Facts.
I think a lot of that stuff is just because people are like, I think it's self-work. People scared to go a little deeper. Like you can have your shit talking record. Like I've got songs like that.
Yeah, but is
Personally,
that all you are?
No, and I personally will
Exactly.
never shit on a woman because that's just not who I am. Like I'm just not, I'm not gonna like, I will talk about how you made me feel in a situation, but I'm never gonna put you down. Like I'm not gonna be like, you're a horrible like basically paint the picture of you being a horrible person. And I think like it's just because like it gets dicey when it comes to that because there is a business side of music too.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like you got to sell. So
And a lot of people feel that way.
you got to talk this shit
Yeah.
in order to sell.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is if you look at the people who sell the most,
The most vulnerable.
they're the most vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like Taylor Swift,
Most vulnerable.
she gets shitted on all the time for writing songs about her exes, but people sing these songs and they are not horrible songs about people. They're
Real,
emotional,
yeah, you can
vulnerable
connect to it.
songs,
Yeah.
like it takes self-work. I think it really just takes self-work.
I feel like we need to start making love music again.
I agree
Oh,
with
that's
you
a
for
thing.
sure.
I was gonna ask
Bring
about
R&B
that. I
back.
do
Yes.
think that it was gonna come back. I also feel the same way as him. You are very passionate. I've met you a couple of times, and this is all you speak about. Where do you think music is gonna go with AI coming out? I have my personal theories. Like the XXL days where we had like at least a template of artists and like how the next year may kind of play out. Do you think that those things will come back? Do you think that hip hop heads will keep pushing like music to where, maybe there's a re-spark of more poetic, like anything can happen because things are getting a lot more digital. And you know how artists are. We want something from a real human being, from
Yeah.
a real place. So where do you think music is heading?
I think with
let's say about that too.
the advancement of technology is incredible and really cool and can add certain things to music. The concept of like AI and stuff like that. But I do think that I think there is always a boiling point to anything. Like we can take something as far as we can until it hits a boiling point and we realize we need to revert back to what is natural. Because the thing that AI doesn't have is it doesn't have a soul.
Talk to him.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have feeling. Like you can match.
You can mimic it.
You can mimic the way my voice sounds, but what you can't mimic is if I lost somebody in my life that day and I hit the studio and the way I recorded it, AI can't make that pain, you know, like that doesn't equate. And I think that we're already in the shift of music, especially like I've had meetings with record labels where, you know, they're trying to offer me situations and I'm so honest where I'm kind of like, I mean, keep it 100 with me. You think this TikTok stuff is like really going to last? And it's like, even labels are kind of realizing that there is no return on investment for this TikTok stuff. And it's like, it's cool, but there will come a time, I believe, where it will revert back because even people now, like we don't feel it anymore. Like I think like a song that like, that's what I love about For Sure is like that moment, the song For Sure, Cash Cobain, people will feel that. Like you get some of those, but they're not consistent enough like how the 90s were, early 2000s were, is because you know, the technological advancement can help you, but it's also taking away from you putting in that work yourself and learning how and understanding how you feel and having perspective and growing, you know?
I feel like, especially with the podcast being a big thing now, the fact that they're everybody is wanting the real version of people and want to hear real conversations, especially in music, what we need to revert back to, and hopefully it does because I want to go back to throwback music. The storytelling. Yeah. All those were stories.
Facts.
Like, even though it wasn't like maybe a specific part, like them like going into detail about a situation, it's how they felt in that situation and they brought it into a story through their music. And most people are not doing that anymore.
Yeah. And I mean, what it is they took a lot of creatives and things out of the labels and just put like analytics
and data
and things of that nature. And fortunately, that was something that kind of destroyed the landscape of music for a little while. But fortunately, now they're seeing that essentially people aren't listening to this shit. They're actually going back and listening to the music that had a lot more feeling in it.
Why is it this album from 10 years ago is still on the Billboard 200, you know?
Exactly.
That's actually very true. A lot of music from today is not even touching 10 years.
Yeah, I think like there's a degree, like we're craving it. We're craving that feeling, like
absolutely
to hear something that feels, and I think that's why people like my music is because they can feel it. Like whatever it may be, it could be just a feel good song, but like, you know, that there's feeling behind it and that each song is individual to themselves. I'm not doing 5 of the same thing.
Yeah, I think there was a time, of course, when we were growing up, but we saw the peak of that greediness of labels where they just, like you said, the analytics, you look like this, you should sing this song.
Oh, I've been told that. You should sing like Justin Bieber kind of songs. Like you got that look.
It's a partial and a good idea, but it's so short term.
It's a good business structure.
Yeah, it's so short term.
I get it in a business term, but the problem is most of these labels and corporations look at the short-term analytics.
Right. Well, let me ask you a question. Like we can all, like, I think we're going to cumulatively agree. Name another artist that is like Michael Jackson. Name another artist that's like Prince. Name a duplicate of Sade. Name a duplicate of Whitney Houston.
Erykah Badu.
And everybody, the world always tries to change you. I'm sitting here on a podcast with a sword. They always try to change you. Stop. Just don't listen to it. Just be patient. I promise you. Just be patient.
The way that I'm thinking about it with the labels, if they would just look at the data from long spans, and see that what lasts instead of looking at what sells now,
right?
They would have a lot more money. But people can't think like that.
It's difficult to now. You got the managerial personality. We're both artists. So I look at that connection a lot. And it's difficult for both sides to go, all right, I'm going to let the manager do his manager thing. If he has an idea that's marketable, I'm going to listen to it with an open ear. And vice versa. The managers don't let the artists be artists. But you have to find that balance. Sometimes artists, your song idea, the one that you got, maybe Andre 3000 will like it. It's very out of this world, but it's just not marketable. We could kind of mold it a little bit. Artists need to be open to that and vice versa. Managers need to stop trying to control every aspect of the artist because then it's not art no more. I think the best music that sells the most, maybe not in a moment, like I said, you got to have that patience, but the Lauryn Hills, like you said, those people who I think that balance in that relationship was there because you could feel the music, but it's also marketable.
Yeah.
And I think why we work together very well is because I have that business aspect of things, but I'm also a creative.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I'm very much a creative. So like I'll be like, yeah, this is what we need to do marketability wise, but like this is what you need to do to also stay authentic.
That's good. That's good.
Yes,
that's good.
And I think I have a good grasp of like not doing things that don't feel authentic. Like I don't make, like, for example, like the sexy drill wave. It's a marketable idea for me to make a sexy drill song because that's the wave right now. But do I like the sexy drill wave? That's the first question. I do like it. So how do I make a song that fits in this world, but is also authentic to me? And I made a couple of those records. And the things I talk about in them are different than what Cash Cobain would talk about in his song. Mm-hmm. Like I have a song Tattoo that I perform that's unreleased, which is talking about like heartbreak, which is not something you hear in sexy drill. It's more about like, you know, late night pulling up, you know, sneaky link vibes. So, you know, I understand marketability. I don't let it dictate what I do, but I try to find the areas where there is an alignment, you know?
Absolutely.
I try to move by feeling. That's really just what I try to do. And I think like any person, like a lot of business people don't move off feeling. And I think things would thrive as if they included their feelings.
They have to.
Yeah. And that's what I was trying to say. Like the artists automatically include their feelings and everything. I don't have to ask you, but you would never do anything that you don't want, that you can't see yourself doing. Right. And sometimes I feel like the managerial side, I'm not saying in your relationship, I'm just talking in general. Like sometimes they just don't see that sometimes. And I think that
they take the human aspect out of real life.
Yeah, exactly.
And just look at the numbers, and the numbers don't really tell the full story.
Yes. Yeah. So I also agree with you guys. I think that people are craving something real, and you guys are doing it right now. Continue to. Is there any...
And then one thing I would want to say too, as well, especially that you're talking about everlasting music, people need to start creating music that hits your core without all of the trends. And when you're at home, when you're sitting by yourself, when you're not influenced by social media, looking at your phone, when you're actually being a human being, that music is going to relate to you the most.
Yeah, trendy music. It's another short-term philosophy. It may get you here for a while, for the moment. But here's the thing with trendy music. This is why I don't really like it. When you put a trend in the song, maybe a dance or whatever it is, it dates the music.
Fact.
That's it's not time. It's not timeless. It can't be timeless. Now, don't get me wrong. You want to talk about current events and stuff. Maybe things affect you and make you feel a certain type of way, but I think the greatest artists know how to stay on the topics of things that universally affect all human beings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything that you guys want to close us out with? I think you guys got very vulnerable and deep. I love these kind of conversations. This was amazing. I think plenty of upcoming artists that are already out there, maybe some celebrities. I know some of y'all be watching my show a little bit. I'm handsome and our clips be going around. Y'all can reach out and y'all can also learn from this. A lot of people that's down here on the ground are not fucking with celebrities right now. Y'all are looking very weird. People are realizing that we have the power in our own hands. So we creating podcasts and our faces have been seen just as many times as y'all's. So y'all can learn too. And he's talking from a real place. I can feel it. So I know it might be hard to kind of think of a message that you guys want to give out because y'all were really vulnerable already. But is there anything that maybe was weighing on your mind throughout the day that you want to leave the people with?
Patience is key.
Look at the
camera.
Couldn't
have said it better myself.
Yeah.
That's it? That's all you say?
Nah, and just while we said that, you know what I'm saying, go stream Patience is key right now. No cap.
New music coming soon.
No new music coming soon, but that's also a song we did with Gary V. And just speaking on that, man, patience really is key. It's all about the journey. And he mentioned it earlier, like we're kind of still processing the thing because it was like all this hype building up to the show, and we were talking about it with Gary V too. It's like you put all this work to get something done that it kind of when that moment actually comes, not that you don't enjoy it, it's like,
You're like, shit, I want to feel the build up again.
Yeah.
It's here already. Like,
I'm glad
I want
that
to
you
feel
said
the
that.
fucking build up. Like,
Yes, sir, Ski. This the Hood Analyst Podcast where we talk about that real hood. Now, we usually leave people with a message. They just left you with a beautiful message. Patience is key. Do you have anything you want to leave them with before I leave them with the message that I just thought of?
So before I do, I need Guy to say his favorite best line for his show again.
Oh, yeah, with the guys
Please
and the girls.
say that
and the girls
again.
and the guys and the...
Look, if you're looking to find a girl, come to the Guy Show.
Sirski.
Yes, UD.
Yes, this was a beautiful show. I think that artists could really, really feel what he was saying. Like I said before, watch this shit. There's a lot of cliches out there. There's a lot of black and white opinions. There's a lot of assuming. There's a lot of all of that. But the real conversations are happening right here. Teaneck is a neighboring city to my hometown. And I don't really know too many people there, but guess what I did? I went out there and I went to go find out. That's the real shit. This is almost like journalism. We getting right. So when you got a question and you get an answer, evaluate that answer, check it out, research it. Like he said, search for the context, find the nuance. We out here bringing humanity back. We cannot turn into robots. We are out.
Yes, Sirski.